out for a run. I did it again. Okay, so heading out for a run right now, and what you just saw is me trying to get clear on a little bit of my routine before I go off on a run. I think that's something that I have neglected. So for me right now, it falls into three parts. The first part is the stretching part. I'll have to film that at some other point. It's nothing brilliant. I think there are all these elaborate videos of the routines that people have. And as much as I would like to say that I have an elaborate routine, I don't. It basically involves me working on my hamstrings, working on my calves, and working on my quads, and a little bit of a routine for my IT bands, which I'm trying to really loosen up, and then a little lower back. That's it. And it's really something that I'm trying to get better at and put more intentionality around, because I feel like it's a weak area for me, and I sometimes will just rush it and just head out and go off and do these runs. And so that's sort of where I am with that. And then the second part of this is getting into a little bit more with my breathing. So the way that I am doing the breathing is what you just saw right there. I'm really trying to get on the habit of that diaphragm breathing rather than relying on that chest breath. And I mean, let's be real, as much as I'd like to say that I'm breathing from the belly and the diaphragm the whole run, I'm not. It's something that I have to just raise awareness to and just be intentional about. So that's where my focus is. So for today's run, warming up with the stretching and then the breathing, and then I move into the third part of this, which is really getting my heart rate up before the run, which involves, as I mentioned before, the butt kickers, really getting my feet down in place and warming up to get that heart rate up as high as I can get it. So that's what I'm going to focus on today, is really focus on breath for this run. This is like day number 12. I don't know. I'd love to hear more about your routine and how you're doing it. I know when I first started, I needed to hear beginner sort of real runner advice about the breathing routines. I think you get to a certain level and these things are automatic for some of these runners. For me, it really helps to hear somebody's thoughts around what they actually do before they go off and run. And then the third part of this, we got a house that is sick. So I'm trying to avoid that too, and this is a good excuse to get out and do a run. Weather's a little bit deceptive today. We're looking at sun is going to go down here in a little bit, but we're looking at like 40 degrees, so we'll see how this run goes. And then the other thing that I'm doing today, which is interesting until that chest strap comes in, which I'm hoping to make a video about, I'm trying to wear my watch on the inside of my wrist to see if that makes a difference for the heart rate. I don't know. Last night I got really beat down with it because it was telling me I was at 110 to 115 on the run, and then I get back and all of a sudden it was 152 average. So there's obviously some conflict there. I'm gonna go get at it, and I'll talk to you on the post run. Okay, literally running the whole way up to this spot right here at the hockey net. Reality happens sometimes. You're on a run, you think you have more time than you do, and your partner calls you, right, and tells you to get home. So that last mile, which I'll put the splits right here, that last mile was much faster, and I'm sure not obviously at my heart rate or my target heart rate of zone 2, but that's reality. When you got a sick kid at home and people have places to go, prescriptions to pick up, you don't always get in the run that you think you're going to get in. So a little off by training, but I've got to speed this up. So I'll end it by saying I think incorporating the breathing techniques, which I have another, and I'll bring that up in another video, incorporating that breathing technique along with the stretching as part 1, the breathing as part 2, and getting the heart rate up as part 3 of my sort of pre-workout. And I'll have to cover what the nutritional base is and try and pay attention to that at some point too. I think the diaphragm breathing, I can speak, the diaphragm breathing and the breathing techniques really helped, because it at least helped me concentrate on my breath. I won't say that I was perfect in breathing from the diaphragm in that whole run. No way. A lot of mouth breathing. A lot of that run was good on the intake through the nose, but as far as it being diaphragm or chest, there were times when it was chest. So I will incorporate that. I'll keep that going. By the way, if you have made it to the end of this video, the whole purpose of me making these videos is just to document a normal guy's quest to his first marathon. This is nothing special. If you're learning something here, super. I am a teacher. You're going to see teacher videos on here. I'd appreciate it if you subscribe if you can. If you're interested in following the journey all the way up till May, and then beyond that, I'm not really sure what this channel has in store aside from personal growth and development and the habits and techniques to grow, develop, and sustain that growth. So thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. You can subscribe if you want, or watch the last video here. Thanks.